Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up in their names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about Big Sean a little bit and why he didn't want to get married to Janae Aiko and what are my thoughts on that specifically. So when it comes to the females, I absolutely believe that your goal should definitely be to seek marriage, especially with the right person. That right person could be already the father of your children. That right person can be someone who has been kind, protective of you, someone who has supported you throughout your life as well. That friend, that partner that most women state that they're seeking. Marriage is going to offer a lady a lot of protections. So one being that most women are looking for someone who is financially in a position that is greater than their own. So with that being said, you're going to be looking for someone who, I don't know, makes 10, 20, 30,000 more than you do, which in our society today is becoming less and less of a thing because there are more educated females than males these days. However, males can make up for that through trades and through other avenues as well. And then also the type of education that you're getting is very important. And most women study psychology, nursing, and what's the other one? Art and dance. So the only one that actually makes money is nursing. And so we can see why there's not a huge discrepancy when it comes to pay because a lot of people are studying majors that do not make, the bucks. So with that being said, it is still easy for a woman today to find a good guy who makes more than them because, they essentially did not pick the right profession. Now, the sun is dying down, so I'm going to switch over here just a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Let me see. You guys let me know if that's better. So I do apologize if that got worse or better. But, Big Sean was just stating, he's not really interested in getting married to a woman who he absolutely loves. I think Janae Aiko, from what I've seen, I don't know her obviously. I think that she's very peaceful. I think that she's a very caring person. I think that she is willing to cater to her man from what I've seen. And I think that Big Sean is very much happy, with his relationship. But the laws that come with marriage are just so bad in a man's perspective, from a man's point, that it really doesn't have much benefit for the guy itself. So what we've noticed is that a lot of men don't realize that even if you sign a prenup, it can be under duress, it can be thrown out. There's a lot of reasons why it can be thrown out, especially if it's not done with two lawyers present, especially if it's not done well before the marriage itself. A prenup is simply saying, hey, you agree to these terms in order to get married, because the benefit of getting married is, you're married to me, and therefore, in order for it to be fair, you need to sign this prenup. So prenups are typically valid only because it was done prior to marriage, and you're giving an exchange. I'm giving you marriage, you give me these assets that I already have. Now, the problem with assets is, let's say this house. This house is personally not paid off. If I was to say, let me have a girlfriend and have her pay rent, that is absolutely okay. But if you're married and you do the same thing, it's now commingling assets, right? Because she is your partner who is now paying on the property, and therefore she's entitled to all appreciation in that property, all repairs in that property, all the the payments that she put into the property, she's now entitled to, even though she didn't put a down payment on it. She didn't pay for the years and years and years that I've owned it. And so that marriage can lead to that type of situation as well. So with that being said, you're now putting it in the court's hands to now judge you. You're now putting it in a lawyer's hands to now fight for your life. You're now putting it in other people's hands to now determine what is yours and what is not yours. As if you're not grown enough to figure that out for yourself, by the way. So with that being said, people absolutely just want to take advantage of a situation and a system that is absolutely broken, to where, justice isn't truly always served. They're still ruling as if it's the 1980s, and, people are absolutely not falling for the same trick anymore. Men are waking up to the realization and understanding that the logic behind this is absolutely skewed and absolutely wrong, and less people are willing to fall for the same tricks that everybody else has fell for. So although I think he has a beautiful woman, he is not willing to sacrifice half of everything that he has ever owned for someone that he's been with a couple of years. Now, let me get to my stance on it. If you're a woman, you should definitely seek marriage, because most women are going to seek a partner who is better than them in some ways. What do I mean by that? Financially, you want a man that's better than you. Physically, obviously, most women are going to want a man that's stronger than them. And that's not truly hard to find in most cases. And then they're going to want someone who's taller than them. They're going to want a leader. They're going to want a protector. And therefore, that guy has to simply be, quote unquote, better in those aspects. Almost in all those categories, they have to clear the bar, right? And so when you find someone who is capable of doing that, women are not going to be in a situation where they're on the losing side of things, right? Because the financial aspect is already taken care of, and then you get all the other attributes as well. So women don't typically have to worry about marriage from that standpoint. All they have to worry about is living within it, and if said person decides to cheat or decides to act up in any way, you can threaten divorce. And now, because of history and women being the nurturers, they're more likely to have the child custody, and men do want to see their children, contrary to popular belief, and so they don't want to lose their children. And then men are also susceptible to losing half of what they own, like I said before. And women don't have that issue because they're the ones taking half of what they own. And so I absolutely believe that marriage is great for women, and I believe that every woman should seek marriage, because it's just a smart thing to do financially. It's a smart thing to do for your family. Does it lead to more loyalty? Probably not. But maybe if you're religious, maybe if you get a religious guy who decides that because of marriage he's going to be more faithful, then I guess. But from a faithful standpoint, I don't really think it does anything. To me, it's really just become a law-abiding piece of paper that allows you to pay less in taxes depending on what your income is. And then it also really straps that guy in more, because like now he is losing half of what he owns if divorce were to happen, which is a 50% rate right now, which means 1 in 2 people are going to divorce. That is not a great statistic for a logical man to possess. And then you also have, on top of that, child support is possible with or without marriage. And so I always say that I prefer to give up a monthly payment than give up half of what I own, because the monthly payments end after 18 plus years. Half of what I own can be a whole life's work that I'm giving up, right? So these mortgages is less than 3% for the next 30 years. I don't want to give that up. I don't want to give that up. I'm never going to see it again. I know I won't. And so why would I want to give that up? Because of what? You know, like why would I, like you have to think about it. Why would you as a human being, man or woman, sit down and say, I like this person so much that I am willing to literally cut off half of everything that I've ever received, ever done, ever worked for in my entire life prior to knowing this person, and say, if either of us decide to move apart or move away or split, you get half. I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm trying to understand how I benefit in that situation. And so, you know, it's not a logical situation for most people. They don't look at the facts. They don't look at what is truly going on within our society. They don't see all the disruption that it has caused. And so when I have this conversation, you know, there's not many arguments that I get, especially from older men, because a lot of the times when I talk about these things, you know what? They've already been through divorce. A lot of these guys that I've talked to, a lot of these men that I've spoken to about this and why I won't do certain things is because they've already been through divorce. And they know my situation and they know what I have and possess. And they're like, man, like they can't tell me that that is a smart and wise decision to make. Especially after they've already been through something that they've probably thought they'd never be through. Now, granted, those men that I've talked to, most of them have gotten married again. Most of them have gotten married for a second time. And to be honest, the second time seems to be the charm because a lot of the time it does work. A lot of the time when they get married the second time, it tends to work out. But guess what? I don't want to have to go through the first ringer in order to realize my mistakes and pick right the second time around. No, because the second time around, from the most men that I do know, the woman typically has multiple children already by another person, and that man is now taking care of those children on top of his own children. That is a headache in itself. Like, I don't want to be raising two families, and I know I don't want people to take that the wrong way, but essentially, you don't want to be in that situation as a young adult to have to deal with that type of stuff. Women shouldn't deal with it. Men shouldn't deal with it. But hey, if you like that stuff, go for it. I am not here to judge. I am just here to tell you what I am not going to do and what I am willing to do. So I absolutely agree with Big Sean. He has a beautiful woman. I hope they stay together forever. But at the end of the day, the law should not be in your relationship. And if you can stop that from happening, then I'm all for it. Stop it from happening and go ahead and live your life. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.